Welcome to Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. Anything and everything you need to know when it comes to your real estate needs right here in the state of Arizona. Hosted by Jason Bates, the lender who has been known to take a turn down and turn it around into an approval.
Well, hello, Arizona, and thank you for listening to this episode of Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. The show that is dedicated to bringing you anything and everything you need to know when it comes to your real estate needs right here in the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. And if you would like to email the show, please do so. Email me at valleyofthesunrealestateshow@gmail.com, or you can call me directly at 602-573-3101. I'd love to hear from you. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Jason, Jayson, Bates, Bates. You can also look me up on Google+, Facebook, the internet, any way that you can get a hold of me. Please do so. I'd love to hear from you and have any of your feedback that you'd be willing to give. And thank you once again for taking time out of your day to listen to what I have to say. Really do appreciate that. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about what is the key to finding your ideal real estate mortgage right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I want to jump right into this because I am considered a turnaround lender. There's often many times where I get clients who come to me and say, Jason, this other mortgage guy or this other mortgage company couldn't help me. Can you help me? And so I think this topic is important because this is critical to the success of a successful loan transaction or a purchase transaction, or even for that matter, on the sales side, a sales transaction. So I wanted to bring here kind of my insight as to what you should be asking your lender when looking for a mortgage loan. And the number one thing that you're going to want to ask is ask for recommendations. If you've had a friend or a colleague who has recently purchased or refinanced their home, ask them how their experience was. You know, that is probably one of the biggest things there that you can do is ask one of your trusted friends or relatives on who they used for their own personal transaction. And then more importantly, ask them how their transaction went. How did they feel about it? Were they informed during the transaction? Were they able to get in touch with their mortgage professional? Was the mortgage professional available after hours? Was the mortgage professional knowledgeable about the different types of programs that are offered? You know, I had a client just recently tell me, you know, Jason, thank you very much for going over all the options that are available to me and not just telling me, you know, what you think I wanted to hear or what you think I wanted. The fact that you went over everything with me really helped educate me and help me make the best choice for my mortgage situation. So your mortgage professional needs to take the time and go over all the options that are available to you, not just go over the FHA program or the conventional program or the VA program or USDA or an ARM product or, you know, whatever the case may be. You want the mortgage professional to go over all the options that are available to you. Because as much as the media has maybe hyped things up there that, you know, we're all kind of into the same box as far as the types of loans that are available out there, there are quite a few different loan programs out there that you could take advantage of. And so you want to make sure that you get the right one that fits your not only short-term goals, but also your long-term goals. Now, another person you can ask, not only your relatives and family, but you can also ask a realtor, you know, a realtor that maybe you worked with in the past. Who are you using today to send your clients to that you trust your clients with? A lot of times the realtors have a good pulse as to who the good lenders are, and not just personally as a loan officer, but maybe a good loan company. You know, again, as much as I'd like to say that I can offer every single program out there, I can't. So I'd like to think that I have all the programs out there, but unfortunately I don't. So, but if I don't have the program, I know people who do have the program that you may be looking for, and I'd certainly be more than happy to refer you to somebody like that who can help you with your particular situation. So, you know, ask your realtor, a past realtor, what kind of recommendation they may have for somebody for you to contact to get that mortgage. The second thing here that you want to try to do is, you know, do your research. Once you have that name, research that person. If they're online, read about them, read about their biography, gather details about them, how long they've been in business. When you call them, ask them these sort of questions, kind of like what you're doing, what you would do in an interview process. Find out more about that person. Find out about their integrity. If they've had any complaints, you can go onto the MLS consumer side and read if they've had any complaints. Gather details about qualification requirements, fees, points, and mortgage rate locks. Also check the lender's experience in the mortgage industry, their reputation with customers, and their history of successfully completing loans. If you're working with a credit union or a bank or a trust, it's worthwhile to do research of their mortgage offerings as well. Compare. And ask personal questions to the loan officer. Do you have any testimonials? Do you have anybody that I could call that would, recommend your services? How many years have you been in the business? What types of products do you offer? Those sort of things are the kind of questions you're going to want to ask a particular loan officer. And don't be bashful with your questions. You have the right to ask questions to your loan officer. I mean, let's face it, this is the biggest transaction of your life. And so you want to make sure that you're in good hands. The Allstate thing, you're in good hands kind of thing. You want to make sure that person's going to look out for your best interests and not their best interests. And so it's very important that you interview that person to make sure that you're comfortable with them. It's not uncommon for you to even ask for the good faith estimate or the federal truth in lending so you can compare fees. On that good faith estimate, and I do have a podcast that explains the good faith estimate in great detail. On the good faith estimate, it does allow for you to shop to get the best deal. Now, I want to stress something here when it comes to getting the best deal. It's important to get the best deal, no question about that. I'm not downplaying that at all. But it's also important to get the best service along with the best deal. And there's something to be said for that. I've talked to a lot of people who chase the interest rate, who chase the fees, and chase, just the cheapest, lowest possible deal that they think they can get. That's not always the best deal. And the reason I say that is because, especially if you're going to purchase transaction and you're looking for the best interest rate and the lowest fees, that's great. However, if that company doesn't perform on what they say, and you miss a close or escrow, it can cost you dearly. It can cost you the appraisal fee. It can cost you your earnest money. It can cost you a home inspection, maybe a pest inspection fee. I mean, when all said and done, it can cost you thousands of dollars in lost income, or not income, but lost money that you've put into the transaction because you didn't close on time. So service is the biggest thing, in my opinion. Rates are going to be very competitive. Most lenders are going to be right in the ballpark with one another when it comes to the interest rates. So then it's going to boil down to service. And, I talk to a lot of loan officers who want to come work on my team. And, I'm always pushing service. We're in a service-oriented business. Our byproduct of our service is mortgage loans and interest rates. Those are secondary. The first thing we got to do is provide excellent service, which means that you have to be available, you have to be professional, and you have to be knowledgeable about what you do. So with that, you got to put things in perspective when you're looking and shopping for a mortgage loan as a consumer, that not only are you getting the best interest rate or, competitive interest rate, competitive fees, but you're getting excellent service, because the excellent service is going to take a lot of stress off the whole transaction. And I can't stress that enough. It's super duper important that you have a smooth transaction. And that's one of the things I pride myself on, my team prides ourselves on, is providing excellent service, along with competitive rates and competitive fees. Now, also during this loan process and when you're interviewing your loan officer, go over the particulars of your situation. Remember, tell your loan officer everything. There isn't anything that you can't tell them that isn't going to hurt or help your situation. It kind of, the situation that your particular environment or whatever that you're in is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. So the more information you tell your loan officer, the better. And then see his reaction to your statements. See what he suggests or she suggests for your particular situation. The ideal lender needs to be able to give you a clear idea of what you can reasonably expect in the future. So when you tell them everything, they have to be able to tell you exactly what you can expect in return for your situation. Ask what happens if the appraisal comes back lower than anticipated. What are your options? What is the lender going to do? How is the lender going to look at that? If there are any problems with the closing or your rate lock expires, what are the situations that you foresee may happen during your transaction? And then then judge the reaction from the loan officer as to whether or not you should be doing business with that loan officer. Look, if the loan officer can't tell you when your rate expires what's going to happen, then you don't need to be doing business with that loan officer. If he can't tell you what's going to happen if the appraisal comes in low, then you don't need to be doing business with that loan officer. You need to move on to the next loan officer. You want to look for a loan officer who's just going to speak straightforward with you, who's going to talk to you in a manner that is conducive to your personality. You don't want somebody over talking you. You don't want somebody talking down to you. You want somebody who's going to talk with you as if they're a family member. And so you want to, associate yourself with that lender. When I interview, as I said before, other loan officers who want to become part of my team and they think they know it all, I tell them to take a hike because nobody knows it all. I don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. And the people who act like they do, who are arrogant, I personally I don't get along with. And so I tell them to, look for employment somewhere else because I'm not willing to go down that road. So if that's your personality, then don't work with somebody who's going to talk over you. There's a lot of used car salesman tactics out there for loan officers. I don't like that either. So I tell them to keep moving as well. You can do the same as a consumer. That loan officer is not the only loan officer out there who can help you. So make sure that you get with somebody that you're comfortable with. Again, this is the biggest transaction of your life. And it's very important that you are comfortable with who you trust, who's going to look out for your best interest. It's as simple as that. You're going to want a lender who is not just interested in your loan, but is interested in communicating with you clearly and honestly and helping you reach a mortgage loan settlement that agrees with your long-term financial plan. It's not just a short-term plan, but also a long-term plan that you're seeking here. And you want the professional advice of somebody who's been through the process, who can honestly tell you what to expect if something were to go wrong, and who can be available when you need them. I mean, it's a very stressful period when you're looking at a mortgage transaction. It can be a stressful period. And so you want somebody who's going to be that calm in that storm that's going to help you walk through that process. The other thing I want to point out here too with lenders is one of the questions I would ask if I was a consumer, and this is from the inside, asking, if I were on the outside asking in, this is kind of insider information that I would ask. I would ask whether or not they service their own loans. Now, I get that question quite often, actually, and I'm so happy to have that question because that tells me the consumer is genuinely cares about the future of their loan. Some here in Arizona, they have mortgage bankers. Mortgage bankers, they claim they're direct with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. And that may be the case. But are they a servicer of their own loans? There's quite a few lenders here in Arizona who do not service their own loans. Now, HUD and federal government, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they really don't like that. And they don't like that because when you lend your own money and you service your own loans, you take a little bit different approach when underwriting those files. You take a little bit more of a prudent underwriting position on those loans. And as a result, you're not going to extend the underwriting guidelines. You're not going to, go into those gray areas. You're going to be fair, no question about it, but you're not going to overextend yourself. See, with mortgage bankers, they have a contract with whoever the servicing provider is. So let's say you go to a broker, you close on the loan, your loan gets sold. Well, that broker, whoever that is on the hook for the first 6 months of that loan. As long as you pay on that loan and nothing happens, then after 6 months, their hands are wiped clean of that loan. Within that first 6 months, if something were to go wrong, they've got to buy that loan back. But after 6 months, they're off the hook. Now, the government doesn't like that. They like lenders to be on the hook for the entire duration of the loan. And so the companies that I associate with, I'm direct Ginnie Mae, Fannie, Freddie, HUD, direct seller, servicer, provider. That means you're going to be making payments directly to my company. And so if there's a problem with your payments, you can call me directly. I think that's important, not only for what you're looking for now to get into the home, but also in the future. If something were to come up, you can call me and I can help you with whatever that is, whatever your situation may be. Most loan officers kind of here today, gone tomorrow. So you close the loan, you don't hear from them again. Where myself, I'm going to be with you as long as you have your loan with me and my company, then you're going to hear from Jason Bates. So I think that's important that you ask your mortgage loan person if whether or not they service their own loans. And if they do, how much of them do they service? And can they guarantee that your loan will be serviced by their company? And if they can do that, then that's somebody I would be willing to do some business with. So I hope this information has helped you make a decision, help guide you a little bit when looking to find that right mortgage professional to help you through your purchase, refinance transaction. And certainly, I'd love to hear from you. You know, you can email the show at valleyofthesunrealestateshow@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Jason Bates, JAYSON, BATES. Or you can, do a Google search of my name and I pop up everywhere. So any way that you can find me, you can always call me as well at 602-573-3101. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your feedback here too from you. If you've got any suggestions on how you found your loan officer, I would love to hear those suggestions. So please write into the show. If you're listening into the show through iTunes or Stitcher or anything like that, please leave a review, subscribe. I'd love to hear your comments, good, bad, or indifferent. And I really appreciate the feedback. And if there's anything that you want to hear in the future on the show, by all means, send me an email and we'll see if we can't get your topic on the show, on the next show. So once again, thank you for listening to this episode of Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show, the show dedicated to bringing you anything and everything that you need to know when it comes to your real estate needs right here in the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. It's been a pleasure. Thank you once again, and I hope to hear from you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Jason Bates, NMLS 220798, mortgage banking license 0119128, equal housing lender. Sound effects provided by soundwave.com.